grandma today.
The meeting will come to order. We welcome all of you that are out for our school board meeting tonight. We are holding the August monthly meeting of the Fayette County School Boards, or the Fayette County School Board of School Trustees. I still didn't say that right, but anyway. Would you join me in a pledge of allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first of all, I need a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton. Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Any patron comments on agenda items tonight? I'm sorry, I didn't vote on them. I need to slow down here, don't I? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Thank you for correcting. Now, are there any patron comments? Seeing none, we move on to our consent agenda. In the consent agenda, we have approval of minutes from the regular business meeting of 7/14/15, the executive meeting of 7/29/15, the executive session of 8/6/15, and special session of 8/6/15. The personnel report, which included retirements, resignations, leaves of absence, etc. The approval of the July 2015 claims number 39886 through number 40136. A donation of $2,000 from the Fayette County Drug Abuse Prevention Coalition to the Fayette County School Corporation. Do I hear a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I move to accept the consent agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton. Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
Mr. Hunt. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Now moving to the action items, the personnel report, Dr. Bayer.
Thank you, Mr. Burchett, Dr. Hodges, and members of the board. Several persons for your consideration this evening, and they include all certified staff: Natalie Abernathy, elementary teacher, Everton; Amanda Faulkner, elementary teacher, Maplewood; Rachel Hartsock, early child education teacher, WTCC; Stacy Howard, earth-space science teacher; Christina Person, ABE teacher; Gregory Roth, flex teacher at the middle school; Bethany Sinkhorn, guidance counselor, Frazee Grandview; and Courtney Vanderwright, elementary teacher at Grandview. And in addition, in your packets and information mailed to you is a recommendation for the bus driver contract changes for 15-16. Mrs. Calentala and I had an opportunity to meet with a few of the drivers, and we've spoken with Jane Oakley, and the recommendations would be as follows: an hourly rate increase of 1.78%. Drivers will now be paid $21.60 per hour, 36 cent per hour increase. And county and out-of-county field trips will be paid at $12.50 per hour for driving to and from events. The wait time during out-of-county trips will be paid at $7.25 per hour versus 6 hour per hour rate previously used. And due to the recent legislation, we also like to no longer issue written contracts per driver. The driver benefits are all included and outlined in the bus driver benefits section of our appendices, and all at 3.25J, and also a newly revised support staff employee handbook captures all those benefits as well. The increase that we are recommending to you this evening is equal to that of all the other employee groups starting the 15-16 school year. We have communicated again, as we said, with Mrs. Oakley, who supports the benefits and salary changes. I'd ask your consideration of the employee persons for the certified staff as well as the bus driver contract changes tonight, if you will. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bayer. Do I hear a motion to approve these recommendations?
I move to approve the recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Kirshner. Are there any questions or any discussion?
Were the bus, one of the issues I know that had come up with the bus drivers was the wait time that was at $6 an hour, now it's at
$7.25.
$7.25, okay, because that was a substantial issue with some of the drivers previously, so that seems to have been, everybody's pretty cool with this contract?
Yes, I feel pretty good with that, yes.
Okay, I'm just curious about that, because that waiting time was quite an issue with them.
That seemed to be one that they brought up to us. We thought we could provide that increase for them, that's in one line.
Well, it was less than minimum wage, and,
Right.
yeah, okay. Okay.
Now, this doesn't define it as minimum wage, so if
Right.
minimum wage would go up to $7.50, this wait time rate is still at $7.25
Okay.
until it's changed.
Okay.
So,
But I
for
think-
wait time, you are not required to pay minimum wage. We did confirm with
Right.
the attorney
Our
and
attorney.
all of
Mhm.
that, so.
Any other discussion or questions? All right, all of those in favor of this recommendation, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have the affirmation of the 2016 Support Staff Employee of the Year, Dr. Hodges.
Thank you, Mr. President. This year's Support Staff Employee of the Year is a lover of cats. Over the years, she's taken in dozens of strays and homeless cats and made them feel loved. She is completing her 36th year as an employee of Fayette County School Corporation. She is always professionally dressed, kind, and polite. She's never late. She is seldom absent, but when she's not here, it's noticeable because she is so efficient when she is here. She is well respected, actually loved by staff and students who are lucky enough to get to spend time with her. Her expertise, work ethic, jovial attitude, and positive interaction with our CHS family would be very hard to replace. Her work touches every student at CHS as she places them in proper classes and balances class loads for teachers. The recommendation that you affirm the nomination of the 2016 Fayette County School Corporation Support Staff Employee of the Year, Sana Plow.
Do I hear a motion to affirm our Support Staff Employee of the Year?
I so move.
Thank you, Ms. Kirschner. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Any questions, comments?
About time. She's been there a long, long time, and she is invaluable. She's invaluable. She has had illness, and she's come to work and worked through a lot of physical issues, and she's just a fabulous person to be around. Very, very well deserved.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. The approval of the textbook fee for the new dual credit class, Dr. Hodges.
Board, you have previously approved this class, but we typically approve textbooks, and we did not have that on the textbook adoption list. And we're asking that you approve a textbook for the dual credit class of music appreciation.
Okay, you've heard this recommendation. Do I hear a motion to approve the textbook fee for the new dual credit class being music appreciation?
I'll make that motion, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Do I hear a second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton. Discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion carries. Next, we have permission to advertise the 2016 budget. Ms. Tollett, please.
Thank you, Mr. Bertrand. This evening, we'll begin the journey of the 2016 budget, hopefully with your approval to advertise. The budget is advertised online only. In the newspaper, you will find the capital projects plan for 2016 to 2018 and the bus replacement plan of 2016 to 2027. In the past, these have been required to be published 2 times in the newspaper.
However, the new rules call for them to only be published once. You will be provided a copy of the budget booklet at our August 25th budget work session, whereby I'll provide you more in-depth information about the proposed budget. Additionally, at the August 8th board meeting, we will have what's called the public hearing, and the public will be allowed to make comments. Then at the October board meeting, I'll be asking for your official approval of the budget. So if you have any questions at this time, I'll be happy to answer them, but tonight we're asking for permission to actually advertise the proposed budgets.
Okay, just permission to advertise, is all we're doing.
Yes.
Correct. All right, do I hear a motion to give permission to advertise the 2016 budget?
Mr. President, I so move permission to advertise the budget.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Spurlock. Any questions? All right, all of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving right along, we're ready for public comments. Do we have anyone in the audience who needs to make the board aware of any issues? Seeing none, we'll move into our report items. Superintendent's discussion groups report. Seeing none, principal director reports. Seeing none, director of human resources report.
Thank you, Mr. Burchett. Just a couple of items. One, we were off to a good start with the start of the school year. Transportation has gone very smoothly to start the year. Very few snafus, other than a few students not sure where to go, but other than that, it's been a very, very pleasant start. Our food service also is going really well, and just as a report, we'll have more detail later, probably this fall, but the summer feeding program in 2014, we served, including the truck, vacation Bible schools, daycares, summer school in the Miller Building program that was held in the park. We served 17,861 meals. In 2015, using those same locations, we served 21,370 meals, or about 3,500 more meals this year, 2015, than we did in 2014. So it continues to grow, and we continue to meet the needs of our students in the community. So hats off to our Chartwell's folks in delivering those meals to students. Our new teachers, we finally hired our final new teacher. We have him aboard. We will officially bring him aboard next month, but we have ended up with 25 new teachers, and we'll be meeting with that group next week to kind of do some follow-up with them as far as their start. It's gone so far in the beginning, and any items they may need assistance with as we from our perspective at least, they closely work with building principals who've done an excellent job in providing guidance to them, but we'll just kind of capture some of the things that they still have questions about so we can make sure they're off to that great start. And we'll start with visits to those classrooms tomorrow, just a very brief drop in and say hey and encourage them to continue their great work. And then finally, I just want to thank the board for their support. We have this time of year when we have a number of people starting prior to your approval. You've provided us the opportunity to go ahead and employ those folks and then confirm that after, and I do appreciate that very much, the opportunity to get these folks started. Otherwise, we'd have some real delays, and I want to thank you for that. So that's all I have this evening. Mr. Burchett, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on then to Director of Finance report.
Thank you, Mr. Burchett. Just briefly to update you on some of the projects that we had going this summer. The Everton roof and the high school plumbing projects are 100% complete at this time. The vestibule still has some work to be done. Hopefully they'll be finishing that up shortly. That project was supposed to take a week to 2 weeks to complete, and that seems to have been one of the projects that's given us the most trouble. The flooring for Spartan Bowl floor is supposed to be delivered this week. The tennis courts are being removed, partially removed. We have had our meeting for that and a timeline established to get those in this fall. Let's see, another project, I'm missing one. Oh, yeah, yeah, I do want to forget that one. The Wise Auditorium swim area steps were poured twice by the vendor, and we were still not satisfied. We did accept the work on the sidewalks, but the value of the steps was deducted. We'll use those steps until we can get another contractor in here. We have 2 quotes now. We're waiting on a third. Giving us quotes is a pretty low priority because they're trying to catch up from the rainy summer. But as soon as we get that third quote, we'll be issuing a purchase order to replace those steps this
They
fall.
are usable now. They're just.
They are usable.
But just
They
not
are
what we
the
want.
quality of both pours. The vendor will go on our list to not use again. We've already explained that to him, you know, similar to the issues with the baseball dugouts that we experienced last year. We kind of moved that vendor onto a list of not using them for those types of projects. It happens sometimes, so that's an update on our projects. We'll be talking about the budget finance committee meeting. I appreciate their support and effort for our meetings. They've given their time, and we'll all be talking about the budget for a couple, 3 meetings.
Jane, what caused that discoloration around the bottom of the steps, you know, going into, look like tar or something, paint or this?
Oh, I think they just poured it wasn't even patched, they just poured stuff on it, didn't they, Randy? It was horrible. but-
Driveway sealer.
When they,
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like.
when they were doing work, they had kind of damaged the blacktop, and they had oil and different things, and so we'd asked them to dress that up,
Mhm.
and that was their attempt to do that. It's not very attractive, and we'll
Okay.
let somebody else straighten that out.
We had experience with this vendor. They're the one who put the new roof on the southwest entrance at Frazee. Did an outstanding job. It just looks beautiful. They took that off and everything. That individual, when I was CFO at the hospital in Rushville, that was the go-to company in Rushville for all concrete work. But, you know, quality of workforce and that sort of thing over time can change, and it just is where we are. But we'll use them for now, but we're getting new ones.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Tollett. I guess we are to the superintendent's report.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone that helped us get off to a terrific start on opening day. I think schools are off and running quite well. Dr. Barrett talked about that. One of the things I was going to talk about was if we could get everybody to register when we have registration, it'd make it start so much easier. Like when you have people showing up on that very first day of school and even the day afterwards, you know, I have a lot of empathy for our transportation director, try to get those routes straightened out. She does a tremendous job with that. Everybody wants to know what does enrollment look like. And whatever number we give you really doesn't matter. It's the second Friday after Labor Day that's the critical number. And I will tell you, everywhere I've ever been, it's been difficult to get a firm number out of the high school. So these numbers reflect. But if we look year to year, comparable dates with today, enrollment's down about 3%. Which translates to about 115 kids. And so we sent a very large freshman class over to the high school. Their enrollment right now looks like it's only up 4, so I would anticipate that's probably going to be a little more, but that, like I say, we can speculate it's going to change. That second Friday is the official count day, so that's what we'll be looking at. I'm going to pass out some brochures. I think you're aware of the program Jobs for America's Graduates. We've been involved with that for several years. We do have 2 classrooms that operate under that title, and as part of the renewal, they stopped in and gave us a report on the class of 2014, and I won't spend a lot of time with this, but just share with you what I think is a positive report. The percentages that you'll see on the paper that's coming around just deal with other JAG programs where it talks about national standard and Indiana actual. Those are just JAG classes that they're comparing to. of them I think I was supposed to keep, but that's okay. As you look at that, you can see that we compare very, very favorably to the national standard and really to the Indiana actual, so that just kind of gives you an idea of how things are progressing with that program. It's a great program that meets the needs of a certain population that we have at the high school, and I think one of our goals is, as a comprehensive high school, to provide opportunities for all kids, and this is working great for some students. A few months ago, we talked about the property that the school owns in Alquina in Orange, and we talked about we wanted to have a public hearing, and we said we wanted to do that in August, and we put some dates out. We weren't able to firm that up. I'm going to suggest to you that we look at September 2nd at 6:30 in the middle school auditorium. It will be a night to receive information only on what people who live in that community would like to see done with those buildings. So if I don't hear any objections tonight, we'll get the publicity out. I want to get
high school auditorium?
Middle school. Middle
Middle
school.
school auditorium.
I think high school might be a little larger venue for that. I think the middle school will work out well. And like I said, we'll just be receiving information that night. There'll be no action taken. At least I don't anticipate there to be. I would think we'd want to evaluate what they have to say, and then maybe even refer that to a committee to start breaking down and taking a look at what we think.
There are some groups that are very interested in those particularly the Alquina property.
I have had, I shared with you, it's been more than 60 days. I showed that property to a gentleman. He told me he'd let me know within 60 days whether they were interested or not. I've not heard from him. I didn't call him. I've not called him at all since we showed that. And then I did have a call from someone a week or so ago that had some interest in the Orange property. And we talked about that. I told him that we were going to be having a hearing. We thought that was a great idea. I told him I would have a conversation with him after we were finished with that. But that's really all the people that have contacted me. So, and if that works, I think that's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Hodges. Do any of you have anything for the good of the cause? I would like to say thank you again to our Chamber of Commerce for having the new teacher luncheon. It's a very nice event, very impressive to our new teachers and welcomes them, and I just think it's very nice. And so thank you, Chamber of Commerce, for taking a part in that, or sponsoring. And also, I mean, we know that our maintenance and custodian guys have really worked hard this summer, and it's evident as you look around, and sometimes we fail to thank people, but I personally would like to thank them for all of their hard work, and others have done as well, but I'll just zero in on those two.
The fair was a blast. A lot of people came by the booth. We had toothbrushes and candy to pass out, which was kind of a strange combination, but and pencils, which were very popular. But I think that a lot of people stopped by. I was particularly pleased to see the Head Start people there. They kept the booth open the extra hour, and in talking to Lori Boggs, they had some people who had not signed up able to do so, and I think just the presence there, if you want to know what's going on in Fayette County, go to the county fair. And I think it was really a good experience to have people from the school corporation. I certainly enjoyed it, even though I didn't enjoy the heat. Next year, please get something with electricity so we can have a fan in the booth, but it was really enjoyable to see all the people and to have them stop by and have such a positive interaction with the people in Fayette County.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kirsten. Anyone else? Do I hear a motion that we adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Hilton. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Okay, are we going to be here a while? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the meeting is adjourned.
Dr. Hodges,